What's up, you guys? It's your favorite cutie, Mel, back again on my Soapbox channel to give you guys yet another video. And today we're going to be doing a self-care chit chat. I haven't decided, like, sometimes I want to start these names for these videos to create a potential like series and playlist on my channel, but I'm not sure if you guys will like it yet or if I should keep it up. So for now, we're just gonna call this a self-care chit chat. I made myself a bentonite mask with apple cider vinegar because, as you can see, I have a nasty little situation happening right here and I had to pop it. I know I shouldn't have, but I did. So I'm just gonna dry it out doing this. But before we get into it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up for this video, thumbs up for this consistency. If you are new here, hi, hello, I'm so happy that you clicked this video. Thank you so much for being here right now. And if you are a reoccurring cutie, of course, thank you guys for coming back. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up as well if you guys like seeing me on your YouTube channel timeline more frequently. So here we go, let's get started. I really need to unpack, and sometimes, like, I noticed that a lot of the YouTubers that I like to watch, they are just people who come and talk from the heart, and I feel like that's the kind of person that I am. I don't really like pre-plan videos as far as like when I'm talking about certain topics, or if I just feel like I have something that I want to say but I don't necessarily want to talk to anyone about it, and I just want to kind of vent my own feelings to myself, because when I just speak from the heart, I can easily just watch these videos again and then decide and see like what's really bothering me, you know? So, and I know this is weird that I do it with the spoon, but I kind of just like how it's so cold and it's like so round. So this is what I do for now. And I know that it's clean too, that's another thing. But anyway, yeah, you guys, so I've been thinking a lot about like growing pains. I've been thinking about how the consequences of like being in a bad relationship for an extended amount of time, it can really scar you. And I feel like I'm starting to experience just triggers from things that should have been indicators, like in my last relationship, to just get the fuck out. And sometimes I feel like, I don't know, just bear with me, you guys. I'm really just, like I said, just gonna speak from the heart. I feel like I do believe that we learn lessons that we need to learn in relationships. So sometimes, even if it takes you a little bit longer to learn those lessons, like, they still, certain relationships, and when you don't let go of things, it starts to hurt you, you know? It starts to become a situation where it's going to backfire to a certain extent. And what I mean by that is, like, okay, for instance, if you are in a really messed up relationship where someone cheated on you, or someone continuously like gaslit you, or was just a very deceptive person towards you and tried to make you believe and give you the impressions that things were one way knowing that they were another, and you're just getting played, like, those things, if you don't leave when you should, you know, when you find out that someone doesn't have your best interest at heart, when you continually give people chances and think that someone is going to be different from who they've always been, you pay a price for it. And that price can be your peace of mind, even if you are in a relationship that is good. Because it's like, after you've stayed a gazillion times of someone doing you wrong, you start to pick up triggers, certain things that have nothing to do with the person that you're dating. They can do something that could potentially be innocent, could not. You always should definitely not put anything past anybody. But innocent things can end up becoming like triggers for you, because you've been accustomed to just being traumatized by certain actions, or you just have certain memories of how things have went before, and sometimes it makes it hard to trust yourself when you weren't strong enough to let go. And I guess that comes, maybe it's like, what do you do, right? You have to learn the lessons, and when you do learn them, and when you do finally walk away, if it was a bad situation and it left a negative impact on you, you have to learn to also let go of, you know, those triggers too. You know, you have to gradually start to eat away at those, because you don't want it controlling you. You don't want it controlling you. You don't want it controlling your life. You don't want it to start messing up the good things in your life. You don't want something that was bad in the past to mess up the present good things and the present blessings that you have in your life. No matter what it is, you know? That's just like if you had an old job, right? And you only got, 30 minutes to eat or something like that. And if you were a second minute late, they would dock your pay for the whole day. That's ridiculous, but obviously, just for example's sake. Then, so you really needed that job, or you felt like you needed that job, so you stayed around, maybe for a few years. Then you finally let go, get a new job, right? So you're like, okay, this new job, they no longer have that rule. You know, it's a different situation. Like, yeah, we have 45-minute lunches now, and they give us a 30-minute grace period. So if I don't show up right on time, it's okay, because my whole day's work pay is still going to be available to me and on the way to my pending accounts. But because at your old job, you were penalized for making small mistakes, now, even though you no longer have the same circumstances, you still get a knot in your stomach every single time you see that your lunch break is about to end in 5 minutes, because you know that if you don't clock in, something bad will happen. And the same thing happens in relationships. Sometimes people do a really shitty job, and honestly, sometimes we do a really shitty job of taking care of ourselves in relationships, meaning putting ourselves first, considering our feelings and how things make us feel, leaving when things are not good. And I don't want it. Sometimes I wonder if, you know, I always think the solution to problems is to leave. And I think that sometimes that might not be good, but it just feels like, you know, if you don't want to appreciate me, if I can't communicate with you, you know, what I need, and we can't come to a resolve, we can't talk about it, we can't figure it out, it almost feels like it's a mistake to stay. And maybe, I don't know, how do you guys feel about it? Let me know down in the comments if you feel like this is making any sense to you. If it's not, I completely understand, but I feel like if it's for you, then you understand. It just has so many lasting effects. But I don't know if you guys listen to Solange, but it's just like, you know that song, Mad? Got the right to be mad, but when you carry it, you find it not at all getting in the way. So you gotta let it go. I paraphrased a little bit. I don't know the exact words, but it's something along to that effect. So it's like, yeah, like sometimes I think about things and I'm like, I have a right to be this way, right? I have a right to feel away when this happens to me, because it triggers me. It triggers me into bad feelings, and I have a right to be upset about these things. But also, like, sometimes if you hold on to it too long, it starts to get in the way of other things. It starts to affect other things in a negative way, and sometimes those things might not even be negative, you know? It's just hard, you know, once you've had your trust broken so many times, once you've been in so many traumatizing situations with other people and just being betrayed in life, which I feel like I've had my fair share. Even the times where I felt like I didn't cut off friends when I felt like I should have, or when they showed me that, you know, there's something going on, there's more to it when you're not around, if the circumstance is right. Even when I didn't let go of those relationships, I still feel like I've held on to, like, seeing someone that I cared about, or someone who was supposed to care, someone who was supposed to, you know, want me to be at my best and have my best interests at heart. Seeing those people either just completely flip the switch, and or behind the scenes, you know, things are different. I remember, I don't know if I told this story on this channel before, but I remember when I did my I think I did do this story. If I might link it in this video, but basically I did a story time about how I used to have an edibles business, and I was living with a really close friend, and then I had two other roommates that were somewhat close to me. And, you know, I was doing fairly well. I was selling out of my brownies each and every single time, and I was able to pay my bills with it and things like that. Long story short, all of the roommates decided, like, behind my back, they were going to band together because they were hating on me, and they were going to try to, like, just take profits from me and just insert themselves into my business because it was doing well, and, you know, there were other things going on with other people's income. So one of those people was one of my best friends. Like, you know, it was one of my best friends, and yeah, like, obviously I was very upset with him, and at the time, like, I didn't talk to him for a good minute, because it was just like, no, you got me messed up, and it's just like, you were talking behind my back and you were plotting against me, and you're supposed to be like one of my best friends. That situation, like, even though we had been friends a little bit longer and we had made up and we had talked about that just showed me too, like, you just don't know how people are going to act when you're not around. You don't know if people really have your best interests at heart, and I find that really difficult now to just know who's worth it. Like, you know, who should I take a chance on, you know, because it's like, you don't want to be so closed off that you don't receive love, because you're always assuming the worst of everybody, and you're pushing everybody away, and you're running, and you're leaving because you don't want to get hurt. But you don't want to be naive either, because if there's one thing that I've learned from being naive, it's that don't do that. Don't put it past anyone. But I've been through several situations like that. Several. I remember one of my earliest best friends from high school. We had moved to a whole nother state together, and, you know, we had got into this artist house situation, artist development, when I was doing that. And we were both homeless before that. So I had, like, really the house situation was for me, but I cared about the person that I came with. So I had made sure that they were good too. And I just, you know, was asking and pleading to make sure that they'd be okay and that they have a roof over their heads as well. That person also turned on me. It's just like, I think I get afraid when I start to give, because I feel like I've been a lot more reserved now. Like it's going to take you longer for me to invest much in you until I can see what kind of person that you are. But once I do start to give, and I start to really just be myself and like let loose and like give how I love to give, because I'm a giver too. Like I love to give. But then it's just like, is this person going to take advantage of it? Is this person not going to appreciate it because, you know, they feel like it's too accessible to them now? It's just always feeling like you have to look over your shoulder. One thing I definitely want to invest in when Corona is over, I want to go to therapy. I think everybody should go to therapy. I would really like to experience what that's like and see if I'm able to just make some significant character, spiritual, personal, relational goals. Like if I'm able to like really do some good work in there to help me have a better life, a more fulfilling life, and just get another outside opinion sometimes. Not even an opinion, because I feel like most of the time therapists, from what I've seen, they don't even really give an opinion. Maybe they just listen to you and then show you common themes in situations, common themes and how you've reacted to things in the past, common themes on how you may overlook certain things. So it's just like it gives you another set of eyes to help you learn yourself. I feel like that's the whole point of therapy. And then it also, you know, is for other things. Like I guess they can diagnose if you're having any mental issues or anything like that. So that's another thing. But I mostly would want to go because I want to grow. I want to work on my trust. I want to be able to trust in a healthy, non-naive way, and not let my fear of trust run certain aspects of my life. That makes sense. But it makes you just want to get away. It makes you want to just be like, it makes you want to give up on things, people, and it just ruins your day when you have to be triggered by things, you know. Also, let's talk about something else. So lately I've been feeling a little anxious about just life, where I want to go, knowing that, you know, this year is gone. And I feel like I'm still in a transitional phase, because it's just like, even though I feel like I've made a lot of personal goals happen this year, I've definitely improved my financial situation by a landslide. It's just like, I just want to know that I'm doing the proper things that I need to do to be where I need to be, or where I want to be. Like, just thinking about, I've had conversations about like retirement and things like that, and just thinking about, you know, all right, these are things that I've been thinking about anyway. Ever since I was a financial advisor, I've been thinking about, you know, retirement, which is why I've already made several steps towards it, even when I didn't feel like I had the money. But it's just like, you know, thinking about that and thinking about family things. Like, do I want to have a family? I know that I want to get married. Like, I know that I want to get married even if I didn't have another kid. Like, I know that I would want to get married. I know that I would want to just have like such a warm, beautiful, loving home with someone. I would love the security of just like being with my partner often, every day. Like, I would love that. I feel like it would just help me on so many levels to just have that level of security, and just thinking about the steps that I need to take to get to those things. Like, it kind of sucks because it's just like, I just want to make sure that I'm investing in the right people and that I'm not giving my time to people who are not serious about wanting what I want. You know, are we on the same page? Do we want the same things? Like, if we don't want the same things, then why even waste time? So, you know, that, just thinking about who it is that I am now, where I want to go. And I think I'm starting to think about this stuff because I'm realizing that the year is about to end. And even though I have absolutely no freaking clue what's going to happen from here, like, you know, with the election and with the Rona, and just, you know, there's just so much uncertainty about a lot of things. So it's just like, I'm just starting to think about it, and sometimes it keeps me up at night. Like last night I could not sleep because I'm just like, I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing for myself. And I think that the most important thing about that, usually I don't want to say that you should like worry yourself about things and like be super anxious, but I do think that, you know, when you have that intention, that nagging intention to make sure that you're doing a good job and trying to be mindful about those things, I think that ultimately that's a good sign that you're going to head in that direction and that you are going to take the steps necessary to be whatever it is that you want to be, whether you want to be the best mom that you can be, whether you want to be the best partner, whether, you know, you want to be a better advocate for yourself in dating and picking better people for you that align with the future that you want. Like, all of those things, like, if that's something that's on your mind and you're continuously, like, you know, focused on the good things that you want to see, then you're going to move towards those things. And I want to end this video today just talking about, like, I know that I just mentioned a lot of things, but I also want to mention some things that have been helping me this morning as I wake up and just kind of ruminate on what's been on my mind. Besides the fact that, like, yes, the fact that you are even thinking and feeling certain ways and, like, trying to map out what it is that you want, it's a good indication that you're getting closer to your destination, one. And two, it's just like, when you are having these times where you feel maybe a little bit anxious about where you're going, or you feel a little unsure, or you're having times where you're feeling like, you know, you're suffering from growing pains, meaning, like, you know, my growing pain for me is trust, like trying to really grow out of the extreme distrust that I have for things and other people. You have to start taking the actions, and you have to keep being mindful. So, like, me knowing how I am, me being able to recognize that, yeah, I have these trust things, I have to take extra time sometimes when I do feel triggered to think about, you know, first of all, is what I'm thinking a fact? Like, you know, are my worries right now, is there anything that has given me concrete proof that, you know, this is something that I should be concerned about? One. If it's not, then I try to just tell myself that I need to focus on myself and change my thoughts. And it's easier said than done, because there are some times when something triggers me, it will bother me all day. Like, it will bother me all day long, and I will just keep ruminating on it. Even when I try to change my mind, it will affect my sleep. Like, I just, you know, I'm really trying to get through that. So, is it something concrete? Is this factual? And then, you know, if it's not, and if it is involving other people, have I done the work to talk and communicate to the other people about how I'm feeling, to see, you know, what their response is, to what I'm feeling, like, you know. So I try to communicate. And if there was for some reason a need for me to do something different, I start to consider taking action, because taking action usually makes me feel better mentally. Like, if you feel like someone isn't treating you well, or if you feel like, you know, something is off and you feel like you need to take time to yourself, maybe focus on you and just kind of detach a little bit, I decide if that's something that I want to do. Do I want to just cut off communication? And I don't know if that's toxic or not. I would gladly tell people, you know, what it is if I need to take space. I'm not someone who's going to ghost you. Like, if you ask me, I'll probably tell you, like, yeah, I'm just taking some time for myself. But if you need to take time to yourself, that's okay. And if you need to completely separate yourself from someone or something, that's okay too. But alright, you guys, as always, you know, I'm just on here. I wanted to still make a video today showing you guys what I do, trying to do something for myself when I'm having like a tough day, or, you know, or if I had like a tough night, trying to just the next day put myself in a better headspace by taking care of myself, focusing on things that I need, giving myself what I need as much as I can. So if I need to write myself a love letter so that I can know that I'm loved and know how I want to be loved and know how I want to be viewed, if I want to write myself a love letter, I'll write myself a love letter. If I'm feeling, you know, insecure about something, I'll write myself a letter telling me, you know, say I thought that I was ugly or something, I would write myself a letter telling myself how beautiful I was and how beautiful I also make people feel, and, you know, how special and unique I am. So that's something that I also do to help myself just feel good about me. Like, you know, I am a very confident person, but I do feel like everybody has their days and everybody has things that trigger them. Everybody has things that, you know, or they have insecurities about. So it's just like, we can't rely, even though it would be nice, and I hope and I pray to God that I have a partner that's going to support me when I need the support and when they're able to support me by like hearing me out, talking to me, giving me reassurance and things like that. That's what I need. That's what I need, because that's what I have to do for myself. I have to reassure myself, and I just hope that the partner that I end up with, the person that I end up marrying, I hope they are a person who, you know, recognizes the person that I am, recognizes the beauty, recognizes all of the great things that I bring to them the first time. Not waiting to appreciate things and after I've already stopped giving and I've already left and I've already moved on and I don't care anymore. Someone who appreciates me the first time, someone who loves me, lets me know it often. Thank God for my son, because my son always lets me know that he loves me. And that's why it's just like, thank God for, you know, the gifts that God gives. But someone who can, you know, be patient with me, love me even when I'm difficult to love, even when I'm having a hard time loving myself. Someone who just assures me, someone who is consistent, someone who is there for me, you know, someone who is dependable, someone who is trustworthy, someone who doesn't take trust for granted, someone who values the right things in life, someone who values love, someone who values commitment, someone who values like communication, clear communication, transparency. Oh Lord, the list goes on. But yeah, you guys, those are just some things that I'm hoping for. And like I said, this video is probably everywhere, but it helps me to, you know, get my thoughts out. So if you guys enjoyed this self-care video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you guys like these chit chats, give me a thumbs up. Leave me comments down below if you guys can relate to what I'm talking about, or, you know, if you just have any thoughts for me or the community that we're building here on this channel. Please do not hesitate to leave those, and I will see you guys in my next on my next upload. All right. as always, stay positive and stay cute. Bye, guys.